Since the war in Gaza began last year, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has maintained his war crimes despite the ongoing international efforts to bring about a ceasefire. Over the past year, tensions have escalated in the region, with Israel conducting attacks on two fronts, in the south against Hamas and in the north against Hezbollah. But the question here is, what are the main reasons behind Netanyahu's intention to continue the war on Gaza? As the Prime Minister enjoys wide-ranging powers and responsibilities, Netanyahu seized the opportunity to launch a war on the Gaza Strip for purely political ends. Continuing the war hands him an important pressure card on the right-wing parties in the camp opposing him to thwart their efforts to form an alternative government. As Netanyahu faces criticisms from the centre-right, he has an added personal incentive behind the ongoing war on Gaza. New elections that might remove him from power could send him to jail due to pending corruption charges. Over the past, Netanyahu has been facing increased political pressure. Continuing wars in the region can provide him a distraction from the internal Israeli issues, such as economic challenges and corruption trials. The discovery of the bodies of 6 Israeli detainees in Gaza, tens of thousands of Israelis flooded the streets to call for a ceasefire that would bring all the detainees back and end the war. Large protests have occurred in Israel on a weekly basis over Netanyahu's handling of the war, as many are frustrated with the country's right-wing coalition, accusing it of prolonging the war in Gaza and putting the country's security at risk. Therefore, it's clear that the Israeli public has no faith in Netanyahu's handling of the war, while roughly 70% believe he should resign his position. The 2022 election gave right-wing parties a clear majority in the Knesset, allowing Netanyahu to build the most far-right government in Israeli history. Though this coalition has since become extremely unpopular, there's no way for voters to kick it out on their own. As a result, the government could only collapse if it faces defections from inside the governing coalition. But at present, the greatest threat to Netanyahu's coalition comes from his extreme right flank, which wants him to continue the war at all costs. For that reason, he seems intent on doing so, because it's the closest thing a prime minister facing criminal convictions might have to get out of jail-free card. Netanyahu cares very deeply about maintaining his war on Gaza. This indicates that he will be concerned about the far-right's calls to overthrow his administration and will want to continue the war as long as possible.